Hello there, this is RJB, and today we're looking at a best of set between 458 and Rabbit. These two players play each other pretty much every single day for a best of set or a single game, but the bottom line is, these two players probably know each other better than anyone else knows them. These two players have played so often, there's pretty much no tricks left up their sleeves. Maybe there are. Maybe there are some sleeves with tricks up them. But 458 here on the 5 o'clock spawn location on the dark blue navy color. The dark blue navy color Protoss. And next to him is on the brown Terran, it's Rabbit on the name Jun2354287. Both these players apparently love numbers a lot. They're number files. Alright, so let's see what's gonna happen. What does 458 have prepared for Rabbit, and how is Rabbit going to respond to 458's aggression? Now 458 starts up with double gateway and a pylon in the choke. It's not going to be a Nexus first, it's going to be double gateway into Nexus, which is a little bit unorthodox. We don't really see this build order happen much on a corner spawn, because there's too much distance for these zealots that are going to spawn to cover before they arrive in the Terran base. But he's right next to the Terran, so maybe there is a realistic chance that those zealots are going to do some harm, just like this probe there in the back is being hella annoying, trying to harass those SCVs. But it is forced to keep running in circles and running away. Rabbit there starts off with a deep one to choke. He's cutting to the sides. He's going to find the pylon there, but he's first also going to find some zealots right behind those pylons once those zealots spawn. Most importantly, he wants to get information. That's why he's going in. He's going to get some really good information here. I mean, he probably already knows what's happening here, because if he sees the pylon in the choke and there's no cannons there, it means, of course, that 458 went for double gateway before a Nexus. And not a Nexus before a Forge and a gateway, which is the other alternative option that they tend to go for. So yeah, Marines are out. Rabbit is preparing himself, bracing himself for impact as those zealots are coming across the map, ready to strike fear into Rabbit. Hopefully he can achieve something with those Marines, but I don't think it's likely, because there's already 6 Marines out there in the front, and the speed there is also helping out. The zealots are killing one and going straight for the backside there, straight for the SCVs all the way down there, but he gets blocked by a Marine spawning, trying to kill that Marine, but Rabbit micros it to safety very expertly. He's not spending his minerals at the moment, though. He's very focused on microing here. He's not spending his minerals at all. He's up to 500, 600 minerals. He starts a something somewhere. He's queuing up Marines. Rabbit here, actually both players are not multitasking that well. They're just going all out on the micro here, all out focusing on dealing damage. Looks like 458 hasn't even started his gas yet. Usually 458 is very good at multitasking here, but his gas starts way too late. And Rabbit also starts his own gas and his command center way too late. So actually both players there dropping some inputs, dropping the ball a little bit. But considering both players lost some time with their progress and their progression, they didn't really lose out on anything. Both players, either player could have built a small lead over the other. But considering both players lost time, didn't spend efficiently or instantly, they're actually on even footing. Zealots keep streaming in, keep trying to kill at least some of those Marines, keep trying to keep Rabbit on his toes, focused on killing the Zealots. But I think that at the moment 458 has been losing some of his own focus as well. This is not one of their best games, but it is going to turn out into a really nice game. Both players, despite not spending their minerals too well, have done a pretty good job at going at each other's throats, trying to make something happen. Now, trying to make something happen isn't always a good thing, because sometimes you try to make something happen when you're not ready for it yet. But both players here precisely know how much damage they can deal, how much damage they can take, how far they can reach to prevent overreaching. They know their limits. Low here. Yeah, Rabbit immediately responds. Great awareness there to those zealots. 458 trying to catch those Marines out. hoping that Rabbit is going to respond just a little bit too slow. But Rabbit instantly responds, doesn't miss a beat this time around. His spending this time is also way better. 4 of 8 is hovering a little bit high, but as long as 4 of 8 keeps hovering on about 600, 700, it shouldn't really hurt him too much. He's still on track. He's behind by about 20 to 30 seconds though. His inability to spend while attacking earlier in the match has slowed all his technology buildings down, and he's adapting to it. He's adapting to it by building a lot of gateways. He's building a lot of gateways to make up for the fact that he had so much overmind. Once again, a lot of Zealots are entering the middle. Gonna try to break in through that front door. Gonna try to kill both depots because all the Marines for Rabbit are in the back, preparing for a drop. But there's no drop coming. Not yet. It's Zealots first. Zealots are running away now though, because too many Marines are coming from the bottom side to the top side there of the base, scaring them away, and then blocked there on the corner, but they do all make it out alive safely. We've got a Reaver on the way. The shield is finished, and shuttle speed is also on the way. We have a support bay finished, of course, in order to have the Reaver on the way. And he's got a Corsair also cancelled. He cancelled the Corsair. Not sure why he cancelled it. But he cancelled it to get something else, but I don't know what else he got. Got Zealot Speed queued up. Maybe he cancelled the Corsair for Zealot Speed and a second Reaver, because he simply didn't have enough gas to finance either of those if he was going to get the Corsair first. Now he's getting the Corsair though, to of course escort those drops into Rabbit's base. Rabbit has a lot of Marines there on the sides, like a couple here, a couple there on the left or right. Now one thing I don't agree with what Rabbit is doing, Rabbit's getting a lot of turrets here on the sides, but he's playing on triple barracks, and triple barracks on the 6 o'clock spawn location makes defending against drops that are big, because these are going to be some big drops here from 4, 5, 8, got more shuttles on the way. You've got 3 robos making shuttles on every single one of them. Got air armor on the way and shield. It's going to be hard for Rabbit to defend, because he has a lot of surface area to cover. Like if you're on a corner spawn, there's just simply 2 directions shuttles can come from, or well 3. There's the choke section right here, the top side and the side. Like there's 2 sides and the choke section. So basically 3 directions shuttles can come from when you're on a corner spawn, but if you're on a middle spawn, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 directions the shuttle can fly in from. And with 3 barracks, you simply don't have enough Marines to cover every single path. It's one of the few adaptations you have to make on this map if you're playing on one of the middle spawns instead of a corner spawn. Comes in there from the bottom side, starts unloading his Reavers pretty close to the Marines. One Reaver goes to shake them down, but there's Zealots there zoning the Marines away from the Reaver there in the back. The bunker's firing on the Reaver. Reaver might go down before it really does too much. Kills a couple more Marines, doesn't get another shot off, and that drop, even though it was intended to reduce the amount of units Rabbit had, didn't actually reduce the amount of units Rabbit had. Kind of a dud. Not really an effective hit. He's got another shuttle set there already ready to fly in. His choke is very small. Rabbit has grown bigger and bigger. Now 63 SCVs. Actually more SCVs than 4 of 8 has probes. He's in 61. He's fallen behind by a little bit, but do keep in mind it is 1 extra Nexus against 2 extra command centers. Rabbit also finally starts filling out his gas. He still doesn't have a starport and only has a single factory. He's just been making Marines on 3 barracks and tanks on a single factory and building a lot of turrets on his sides. Whether that is the most efficient way of spending his money, because the shuttles are gonna fly in. But the assistance of those Corsairs starts unloading there from the top side, goes in from the top direction. There's no Templars in there. The Templar shuttle went down, I believe. Gonna try to unload his Zealots on top of the SCVs, but not quite succeeding because there's nothing left inside the shuttles. But that drop also doesn't really do anything. Looks like 458 isn't very sharp at the moment, although once again comes in from the bottom side. He's starting to rapid fire his shuttle drops. Takes down 1 shuttle. Templars are unloading. Templars are not able to storm because he doesn't have storm upgrade. He's not able to storm. He's getting Kandarian Amulet, but does he not have storm upgrade? But the question is he going to wait for the Templar Energy to finish and then he's going to get Storm? Or is he going to cancel that Kandarian Amulet, which is the Templar Energy upgrade, and then get Storm But not being able to storm is a pretty huge oversight, and it apparently seems to happen too often in the replays I select. Basically, in the last 10 games that I've watched on here on my channel, that we have watched together, we've seen about 5 or 6 games where a player forgot their storm upgrade. It is pretty... It just happens a lot, I don't know why. He's not getting storm, so I think he did upgrade it, he just didn't have energy to storm, he went in too early. That also happens quite frequently when you don't have Templar energy upgrade. You load up those Templars once they spawn and you fly in immediately, and then you find out you've got no energy. He goes in from the front, starts loading there on top of the choke, gonna try to break through the choke. He has storm, Templars are everywhere. There's 7 Templars are in the front. The Zealots aren't really managing to break, so the Zealots broke through. Templars are approaching, gonna storm and everything there on the bottom side close to the command center, but actually doesn't really gain much ground. Rabbit is just completely safe, still has all his SCVs there on the bottom side, and 79 of them in total. He's adding on factors and starports and depots as well. His army is also up and running and getting upgrades. Life is looking very comfortable for Rabbit here. And 4 of 8 on 65 probes, not exactly the number he wants. He wants about 75 up until like 14 or 15 minutes once he's finished building his base. But building a base and attacking and massing out at the same time, you can't really do it on the low probe count. Goes in from the left side, shuttles are taking some fire, but of course it takes over. Shuttles are loaded very close to the SCVs. SCVs going to try to storm on the SCVs, but SCVs are dodging the storm, and he still loses about 4 of them, 5, 6 of them. But not a significant drop. Rabbit here is just having a really good time defending himself. He's not doing flashy micro stuff, but he's doing all the textbook stuff that he has to do. He's getting turrets, he's getting bunkers, he's getting tanks to defend, he's using his marines to snipe shuttles and defend against storm drops. He's sending his SCVs to safety, which is something a lot of players tend to risk. They tend to keep their SCVs on the minerals, hoping to not lose out on any mining time. But 4 of 8 here has a mass, he's maxed out on army. He'll try to break the front door once again. There's just some bunkers to defend. The goons are going to have a field day shooting from afar. Gonna break through those walls, the depot while they're in the front. The bunkers are hurting him quite a bit though. The bunkers are hurting him more than I anticipated. He's breaking through nonetheless though, because he does have some nifty upgrades there on the dragoons. And the tanks are rolling from the back to the front, finally helping out, but it might be a little bit too late. There's not much supply left for Rabbit here. Rabbit is he's just gonna fall to the very simple choke mass attack. I guess that's keeping the Rabbit small with his supply count, with those drops, has paid off. Drop comes in, he drops on the bottom corner there. 1 Templar storms on the minerals, but the minerals is empty. There are no SBs there, but he's got 7 more Templars approaching the mineral line, and the SBs are going back to the minerals, but he's gonna get stormed here. Not sure what Rabbit is doing here. He's losing 50 SCDs. The storms, this is going terrible for Rabbit. He's risking it so hard, there's so many Templars, and he's putting his SCVs back on the minerals. There's Archons there on the bottom side as well, and there's units coming in from the front door too. More units coming in there from the base, leaving 4 of 8's base, ready to break. Well, he's already broken through, just want to walk right in there and start attacking all those structures there in the front. He's got 31 SCVs left on the minerals, mining, trying to catch up, trying to recover, but there's a wide open hole here on the bottom right corner, where an Archon is wreaking havoc, and Dragoons, he's going to go for the front. He's not even going to go in from the side. Valkyrie's there ready to intercept. He's going to start to unload. He's unloading Templars there. 1 Templar unloaded. Storms on the minerals, and the SBs are all dead and gone, and Rabbit goes down. And it seems to be a very sudden end to the match. He was doing so well up until the 12-minute mark, and then all of a sudden, everything just went wrong for Rabbit. 4 of 8 realized what he had to do, and once 4 of 8 realizes his path to victory, it just happens. Just within the blink of an eye, it's over. This guy knows how to finish games once the tide turns. Once the tide turns, he goes all in and he goes hard. So Rabbit there, a little bit disappointing performance at the end. The tables flipped. So let's go for game number 2. Maybe in game number 2, we can see Rabbit have a little bit of a stronger performance after the 10-minute mark. Because before 10 minutes, He looked really strong, and 4 of 8 looked a little bit lost. 4 of 8 was doing a very good rinse and repeat, but it didn't pay off until the 12-minute mark when everything just fell into place. So once again, both players are very close to each other. 4 of 8 once again on the 5 o'clock spawn location, and Rabbit this time around on the 3 o'clock spawn location. I hope this time around he's going to go for 5 barracks to defend himself from those shuttle drops, though he was doing just fine on triple barracks in the previous match. But who knows, maybe he is adjusting his playstyle, maybe he's going to slightly tweak what he's going to do to keep up with 458's post 10-minute game. After 10 minutes, his aggression is just unstoppable, or else seemingly unstoppable. There's just no end to the streams and the frequency of his shuttle drops, his frontal gateway unit attacks. He just does it all, and he does it all really well. Although I do think a single tank there near the choke for Rabbit could have saved his life. All his tanks were in the back. Anyway, let's focus on this game number 2. Game number 1 is in the past, and we're not going to linger on things that have already happened. So it's a 8 barracks there for Rabbit. It's a 2 gateway into Nexus for 458. This time around, I hope he's not going to delay himself by not properly spending his minerals. This time around, he's really spending his minerals quick. He's getting his gas pretty early. Going to get an early cyber core there as well. Zealot streaming out still. Marine still coming out onto the map. Rabbit is probably saving up minerals for a command center, as he's on 500, 600. And then again, an academy soon as well. First another depot, and then an academy. Gonna need gas too. Slowly is balling up his marine count. He's not going aggressive. He knows that zealots are on the way, so he's just keeping them there, letting the amount of marines grow bigger, up until the point that he feels comfortable with the ball of marines he has to fight against those zealots from 458, who's only on a 2 gateway production. There's 1 cannon on the way there in the front, gonna try to buy time with those zealots to keep that cannon there in the front alive. Rabbit knows that he can't go in, because if he goes in and the cannon is finishing up, he's gonna be caught in between zealots and a cannon. So very wisely, deals as much damage as he can, only hitting zealots, but not going all in on the cannon or on the choke break. An interesting little thing there that Rabbit does that I always really like with his optimization is the fact that after he finishes his 4th depot, he goes for an academy with its same SCV and doesn't build a 5th depot yet, because his command center there is going to finish up and open up supply space. He's getting a depot there in the front though. Kind of defeats my talk, but this depot is here as a function to block off the entrance, not really to add on supply. The fact they're also on the way is just progressing calmly, slowly, comfortably, not really feeling any pressure from 458, unlike last game, where Rabbit was constantly getting chased around in his own base. This time around, it didn't quite work out for 458. 458 this time couldn't quite get any pressure down on Rabbit, who's very comfortable getting engineering bay there on the front as well. Marine zealots are looking to see if they can go in. This is a very healthy amount of marines. It's 12, another 6, not about 21 of them in total. 3 medics there as well. Got steam upgrade there on the way from the academy. He might try to break through the choke here. There's only 3 cannons, and I'm sure he's going to try to check if he can go for it. First, attack the zealots. Do the zealots retreat? Yes or no? Usually zealots retreating is a safe sign that you can try to push, because that means that there's no other zealots trying to flank or set up a trap. You got Shuttle on the way, Shuttle Speed also on the way. I don't see a Citadel of the Dune. There it is on the bottom corner. Citadel and Temple's Archive. And yes, it looks like Rabbit's going to try to break through. 3 medics, along Marines. Rangers on the way, Stim is finished. Got a Siege Mode on the way, Tank on the way as well. Whereas 458 is getting Storm and Shuttle Speed. His shuttle has finished. Gonna shuttle some units over the wall first, just to kill those turrets on the side. It's something he can afford to do, just to disrupt what Rabbit is planning to do, just to disrupt his flow. Once you get those turrets up on the bottom corner, And that single zealot is enough to slow it down, and slowing it down might just do the trick. Double Reaver very close to finish. Rabbit is splitting up his marines all over the map, getting vision to give himself a little bit more of a buffer zone to respond to shuttles flying in, because 4 of 8 is not just going to fly over the bottom side here. Even though this is the shortest path, it might not be the best path to fly in with your shuttle drops. And as you can see, he's doing exactly that. He's anticipating that Rabbit is expecting the first shuttle drop to come in from the bottom side, but he's actually flying all the way around. But Rabbit has marines prepared exactly for that purpose. He spread them out pretty well all over the top side to spot out this specific shuttle in the case 4 of 8 is not going in from the bottom side, which he isn't. He's flying around. Now 4 of 8 might not avoid it. He tried to, but he got spotted out there. Kills it. With the shuttle, the Reaver takes down the Marine. Gonna try to take this down as well. Just slowly opening up the map, taking away vision. Although it looks like Rabbit knows this is coming in. He's got Marines there prepared in between, but the shuttle tries to go in. He avoids the Marines. Shuttles are unloading. Reavers are shooting. And try to micro a little bit, but the shuttle there going to go down. The Reaver also going to go down there. Once it shoots its last Scarab, but the drop comes in at the same time for the bottom side of those too far away, but intercepted by the shuttles and the Marines. Templars can't get in range to storm one of the SVs, and the Rabbit stays safe. Good setup. The double drop at 10, one for the top side, one for the bottom side, and let's hope that Rabbit can't multitask it that well, or is so occupied with a drop on the top side that he doesn't notice a drop coming in from the bottom side. I've seen so many players die to that specific but very simple setup many times. We've seen it many times. So once again, starts preparing shuttle drop number 3. Although this time around he only went for double robo, not triple. So there's a small bit of delay with the frequency of the shuttles, but also the amount of shuttles. His drops are going to be slightly smaller than before, but it looks like he is preparing himself for early carriers. He's going to go drops into carriers. He might also go for a front bust with a gateway attack. But first, we're going to see some Stargates coming up there, and probably a fleet beacon and a second cyber core as well. Though, he might just be using these for Corsairs. Robo number 3. I might have been wrong with the claim he's going to go for fast carriers. He might not. So he gets spotted out there, doesn't go in, turns around. Because he knows Marines are on the way. Like, once you're spotted out, you should assume that enemy units are on the way, ready to intercept your shuttles. So first, let's clear out everything here on the top side. Like, Rabbit has been resending Marines to the top side to spot out these shuttles specifically. And once again, yeah, the shuttle gets spotted out. Zealots are slowly clearing it out, but Rabbit is safe. So drop number 2 there, being prepared on the bottom side. Once again, going to go for a double drop, but this time around the drops are a little bit slow. There's already 2 minutes in between the last one and the next one. Already 2 minutes time in between, and a lot of good things can happen for a Terran in those 2 minutes. We're approaching 2.5 minutes. Time is ticking. Is he going to go for a triple drop? Or for a big drop for the bottom side and a small drop for the top side, hoping at least one of the two makes their way in all the way towards those SCVs. He goes from the bottom side first. Starts to unload there everywhere. Starts unloading close to the turrets. Going to try to kill some turrets. He can't really go in much further as turrets and Marines are in between. He's going to focus on the turrets instead and maybe storm some Marines to death. Gets a pretty good storm up there on the Marines, but now the drop from the top side is ready to go in, but there's turrets in between. Will one of these shuttles go down, or are they going to stay alive? Comes in, flies in, this Templar arrives on the scene. Templar's going to try to storm, but they both get sniped down before they can really storm on the target. I know that 4 of 8 clicked. There's always a small little bit of delay on the action. And Rabbit was just in time with taking it down. He also dodged the storm just to be safe, not to risk anything at all. Better to be safe than sorry, but everything, once again, working out perfectly fine for Rabbit here. This is looking exactly like last game. He's having no problems keeping himself alive and keeping himself away from receiving damage. Got ship upgrade on the way and air ground damage on the way. So ship damage and ground armor. Level 1 attack for ground already finished up. Some 5 factories now, slowly adding on to his base. Doesn't have a lot of factories yet, but he's very comfortable just maxing out on those 5 factories. Because he's just sitting on his butt, waiting for 458 to come towards him. Another shuttle drop there, prepared, ready to go. Unloads on the bottom side there, storms. The storm misses the minerals, well, hits the minerals, but misses the SCVs. Storms on some less marines there, another storm on the tank, and everything has gone down. The Valkyries there being very useful. Basically, you have to instantly unload your shuttles on the spot once you fly into the Valkyries. Otherwise, all the shuttles go down pretty much within the next 1 or 2 seconds. So you have to unload instantly. It's not worth flying onwards towards the SCVs because everything is just going to go down without really doing anything. Same story here, it goes for the bottom corner there. A lot of Zealots and Templars on the bottom corner. Storms on the Valkyries come try to get close to the SCVs. SCVs got stormed. Rapid there, being very sloppy, not dodging the storm drop, believing he is safe. But one of the Templars unloaded on the other side of the depots. Like everything unloaded here, one Templar unloaded there, but storm on the SCVs, and the SCVs do go down. So Rabbit there, once again, at the exact same timing as the last game, takes his damage. He takes damage once again. But this time around, he has a lot of bunkers, a lot of tanks. He's much safer. He can realistically stay alive here, as he has the ledge. He has the hill as well. Got tanks spread out everywhere. Got Valkyries to defend himself too. Comes in there from the bottom left. Gets very close to the SCVs. Gets Storms in range as well. Storms 2, 3, 4. And almost kills his own SCVs there with the splash damage from a tank. But the SCVs there miraculously stay alive, and the medic is there to heal them all back up to full HP. Now it's time for a frontal attack there, though. It's time for a frontal attack, but there's a lot of tanks in the front and some bunkers. Is he gonna get through? Now the tanks do help with taking down the depots with the splash damage from the siege attack. And try to break through. Slowly but surely breaking through. Gets on top of the bunker, but the bunker has fire bats in it. And fire bats just melt those zealots without even trying. They just walk into it and they instantly die. Drop comes in from the bottom side as well. Valkyries are out of position, but the SCVs are running away to safety just in time. He didn't unload the Templar yet. He's going to fly towards where the SCVs are. Hopefully get a storm off on those SCVs. Doesn't get the storm off. Great idea, great attempt, but can't get in range. Can't get the storm done. Rapido on 11 minerals. He's not in a great condition. Warfate's base is half built because he cannot fill out the top side there because there's 2 tanks up on the hill. Those 2 tanks up on the hill are making his day a little bit miserable. What matters most is he's frequently attacking, keeping up the pressure, flies into it, kills the tank there with the unload. Splash damage is his best friend, goes in for a frontal attack once again, but the depot he killed has already been repaired. Well, not repaired, a new one is being built there. We'll try to break through. Tanks are assisting pretty greatly in taking down the depots. All the depots do go down, the units are streaming in, Dragoons are on top of the tanks. Now this is starting to look a lot like last game. This is starting to look pretty ugly here. Rabbit is in trouble, the front has been broken. He put new tanks up on the hill there, though, to block off the exit path for 458. Those 458 can't really send out more units. They're going to get attacked by those tanks. Starts alone there behind the hill to try to take down some tanks. But he's already here in the front door. The front door is gone, actually. He's already inside the house. He's relocating himself away from the tanks. Tanks are moving to the top side, though, chasing the Dragoons around. They're trying to kill as many turrets on the top as he can. Gonna maybe storm some tanks to death as well. Dragoons are being pulled into the tanks. Maybe kill 1 or 2. And reduce the supply count for Rabbit. Keep doing damage on the top side. Once again, relocates outside of the range of the tanks. More turrets going down on the top side. Another drop there being prepared inside of 458's base. He's scanning as well. Now 458 is now running into his main weakness. Building his base. He's pretty much been on the same base size since 12 minutes. He built 3 more cannons, but that doesn't really mean too much. The tanks up on the hill are being a problem for him. The tanks are also protected from Ooh. Right, so Zealots are loading on the bottom side there. This time around, there's a lot of Zealots, and there's only some tanks to defend. There's no Templars in there. He's focusing on just letting them roam freely without focusing on them. Just gonna let them attack. Another drop there comes in while the Valkyries are drawn to the bottom corner. He's going in from the bottom left. He's getting close, but there's Templars on the scene as well. Templars can storm. The second Templar storm. Second Templar gets a pretty good hit there on some SCVs, but SCVs stay mostly alive. Down to 65 from about 75, so not a big hit. A hit that Rabbit doesn't mind taking. As he's now adding on more factors to his base, he's adding small little depots here as well to block pathways that Zealots can't go through. This is a very beautiful wall where he can place tanks behind, and Zealots simply have to walk all the way around or kill those bunkers, depots. So finally he kills the tank here up on the hill, but Rabbit already loading up another set of tanks to put them here up on the hill to make moving out for 458 very difficult. Zealots coming in through the front door, but they're walking into a big factory wall, but they're going to kill the factory in the front. No! He's relocating to the top side. He's going to walk all the way around and focus on those tanks here, where they are not protected by this huge wall here in the front. Storm comes down at the same time as well. He's just rapid firing attacks non-stop. Shells being sent over the hill pretty much every single 30 seconds, and some units streaming in from the front as well. This is 458's classic barrage of attacks, non-stop, like a Gatling cannon, a machine gun, just rat-tat-tat-tat-tat, keeps shooting, keeps sending. His attacks aren't big or massive, but they keep peeling and picking away, tiny bit by tiny bit, tiny bit by tiny bit. He's going to peel away at Rabbit's base, his army, his economy, and slowly crawl himself closer to victory. At least, that is the plan, because Rabbit's supply is still kind of pretty good. It's a 155, he keeps on producing units. He's a little bit low on minerals because he keeps dodging those storms. His gas is low because his gas SCVs keep being pulled off time and time again. He's now putting some of them back on the gas. Tanks on the bottom side are still being a pain in 458's ass because he's moving out every single time and takes tank shots almost every single time. Once again, the latch advantage here from Rabbit is pretty massive. But once again, comes in, starts loading units here past the top side, past the hill. This time around, there's more Zealots, and they're going to clear out all of those tanks here next to the latch. So he clears it out at least. And in the end, they do all go down. But at least he cleared up that hole. Now he can move out of his base and once again start attacking the top side and the front side here of Rabbit's base, who is now losing the wall that he built with factories and depots, as tanks are pretty much spread out very thinly all across the base. Flies into Valkyries, turns around, tries to keep those shuttles alive, and he does keep them alive. Very quick reaction there, keeping the shuttles alive. Managed to unload one shuttle on top of some tanks. But more importantly, he's clearing out the top side while Rabbit is forced to defend the bottom side. 458 is just outpacing Rabbit with this non-stop stream of attacks. Very annoying and hard to deal with stuff. Shuttles do go down before they unload, but that's not something he cares about too much, because he's killing stuff on the... Oh, Storm! He got in with another drop at the same time. Even I missed it as the observer. Beautiful Storm drop there on the minerals. Rabbit is down in the dumps. 29 SCVs left alive. Pretty much all of them are on the gas or building things around the base. All he's got is these tanks left to defend and those Valkyries up in the air to snipe shuttles. But the Dragoons and Zealots are slowly streaming in non-stop, basically constantly streaming in from the front door with their level 2, 3, 2 upgrades. Rabbit's 458's upgrades are very, very strong. Rabbit is only on 1, 2. He couldn't really afford upgrades all that much because he just kept getting attacked. But for now he stays alive with another wave of units already arriving, already walking through. Tanks are being placed back up on the hill to try and keep 458 out of his base by preventing him from leaving his own base. But no, he's already here. He's already inside your base, killing your stuff. He's gonna go for starports first, where the Valkyries and dropships are being produced. And the starports are outside of the range of the tanks. They're all on the bottom side. So everything here on the top side is exposed to harm and danger. And that's very, very tough to kill. The Swallow Storm Drop comes in once again. Not sure where it came from, but it arrived on the scene nonetheless. dodges the storm there though, keeps SCVs alive. The bunkers there are his last line of defense. Zealots on the top side have taken down the starports, might go for the depots, and the armories there on the top side as well. So even though 458 hasn't built anything at all since like 12 minutes in, the frequency of his attacks, the way he's using his units, and his structures that he has, he's just non-stop. There's no end to this. There's no stopping. There's no keeping up. Just a constant barrage of attacks with a small base. He's got 6, 12, 18 gateways in total, 2 stargates. Now, the downside of this playstyle of 458 is even though his attacks are happening non-stop, he's always attacking. If none of the attacks work, he falls behind pretty quick because his base is small, his economy is small, and it's difficult for him to keep up with the enemy production if his base is small. But as long as he can keep attacking non-stop, keep rapid firing out the damage, keep non-stop harassing his opponent, he just keeps building an advantage. He just snowballs the game out of control. Like he's always killing stuff on the side. He's gonna go for the academy, gonna go for depots, gonna go for turrets, gonna force Rapid to once again rebuild everything here on the bottom side, which takes a lot of actions per minute to do. He's supply block as well. Lost an armory on the top, lost 2 armories on the top side. And 458 now building a gateway proxy base because he's so damn tired of those tanks up on the latch here that are pretty much just keeping him boxed into his base. He can't really send units out onto the map through his choke into Rapid's base. He's building a proxy base to completely bypass the latch, completely bypass the tanks. Valkyries are there, he's loading the shuttles, shuttles are loading, Templar might load, they're very close to the SCVs, there's no Templar, the Templar has arrived on the scene, Templars are storming, Templars are hitting every single SCV, but not killing every single one of them. A couple of those SCVs stay alive, prevents certain death, starts rebuilding that factory wall in the front, relocates tanks to kill the Templar on the top side there, because there's still one Templar there next to the SCVs he wants to take care of. His proxy gateway base is starting to look pretty nice. There's about 11 gateways there, going for number 12, maybe going even for 16. He has the room for 16 here. He's only on 58 pro. He's really lowballing his economy as much as he can to get as big of an army as he can. And this is a massive army. A lot of Archons being morphed. He's going to try to go for a hit on the command center. That's why players make Archons. They deal a lot of damage and they are pretty difficult to kill. And you can take down command centers pretty quickly with a large amount of Archons. You're gonna fly all the way around just to be safe and sound, just to be sure that the Valkyries are not gonna kill his shuttles. The Zealots are ignoring the tanks, but they all kind of do go down before they even arrive where they want to be. So Rabbit is recovering, despite getting hit pretty hard, time and time again. The tanks up on the hill were safe and graze, but now the shuttles are loading there on top of the command center. That's a lot of Archons there shooting on the command center. The command center taking lethal amounts of damage. It's just, boom, it's gone. Boom, it is gone. The Archons just so much damage. 39 damage per shot on the command center, and there was like 7 of them. And they shoot pretty damn quick. Now on the plus side, Rabbit kept most of his SCVs alive, because if he lost those SCVs, that would have been a game over. But losing the main command center is always, in every single situation, it is a bad sign. It is a very bad sign. So 15 gateways, 17, 18. Not sure why he didn't get this one. Yeah, the game is snowballing and slipping away from Rabbit. His supply count is higher again though, but his money is at an all-time low. Has more factories once again, but he's gonna get attacked from the front door. A lot of dragoons coming in, and a shuttle drop there also flying in. Another shuttle drop there being loaded up back at home. He's going for the double drop once again, flies from the front door. Flies into some Valkyries. The Valkyries don't take down the shuttles there though, because they got fully upgraded armor. Low, they're next to the SCVs, they're next to the command centers. SCVs are running away to safety. They're mostly staying alive, but he's taking down things with his storms. He's killing things with his Templars and Zealots. SCVs finally returning back to base, but another drop there is already flying in. Where is that other drop? The second drop. Oh, second drop there flying in from the bottom left. Can't really get close. He gets all the SCVs there with a beautiful storm there. As SCVs are returning to the minerals, he gets all of them. Still half of them there at the minerals. Once again, another drop there comes in. Can he get the storm? Can he get a Templar? Lowe's Templar gonna try the storm, misses the storm. Hit some tanks and one SCV there, but this is brutal non-stop attacking. Rabbit is getting picked apart. Turret's also going down to the bottom side because he's got nothing to defend that there on the bottom side. Things are looking as ugly as they ever did. He doesn't have room to breathe. The supply has gone down to 117. Units once again coming from the front door. Zealots and a couple shells just small the town. We're just going to try to unload as fast as he can. Templars are unloading, Templars storming on the tanks, but the defensive matrix keeps one tank away from harm. Forced to unsiege and roll close to the front there. Depot there is blocking off this path into the backside there, but these factories are going down very quick to the Zealots and Dragoons with fully maxed out upgrades against those 2-3 tanks from Rabbit. Some Zealots streaming in from the top side there. A drop there flies away once again. These drops are just non-stop, and this production from Fortivate is on fire. So Valkyries are spotted on the bottom side. They're actually on the right path there. The shuttles fly into this. One shuttle stays alive. There's no Templar in there though, so all the shuttles do go down, but the pathway has been opened up here as the factories in the front here that were walling and protecting are going down. Zealots and Dragoons are streaming in pretty significant groups. Tank in front with defensive matrix tries to stay alive for a little bit longer, but goes down pretty damn quick. Anyway, another drop there already being sent out. These drops are non-stop. He relocates to the top side there, tries to stay out of the range of the tanks there, but there's so few tanks that he shouldn't even care. And yeah, Rabbit calls GG as his supply plummeted all the way down below 100. His minerals are low, his gas is low, his base is broken, battered, and bruised. He knows the game is over, calls GG, and 458 wins game number 2 as well. Although this time around it took him more than twice as long. But a very strong performance from both players, but specifically from 458, who just non-stop pressure, non-stop hitting and beating up Rabbit. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the matches. I might continue this set sometime this week, or I might not. Bottom line, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back. Have a good day.